good evening. We'll be starting here very soon with the podcast for the Ham Radio Guy this week of January 4th, 2026. Well, hello, and thank you for joining on this very beginning new year for 2026 for the Ham Radio Guy podcast. If you're joining in for the first time with YouTube on this episode, then you're going to find that I had a little bit of an intro video this time, which is kind of cool. Still trying to figure out some of the controls and how we're going to make this work for the new year. But again, trying new things, trying to continue to upbeat and make this podcast the best it can be. It's always a learning curve for me, learning from just by doing, really, and having to listen to other podcasts and see what they do sometimes. And I don't watch a lot of video podcasts. I just listen to podcasts in general. But this week, we're going to be talking about Winter Field Day, and we are super excited about that. Of course, I'm sure you guys all know by now that I am the president of Winter Field Day and have been for 3 years now. This is our third year going at it, and we continue to learn and change things all the time. So if you're going to be watching the podcast today on YouTube, you will see a lot of information that I'll be sharing around the website. I'll be talking about Winter Field Day, how long it's been around and everything. So with no further ado, I think we will get this party started here. I don't know what happened to that one. That was not supposed to happen. That was supposed to happen. Hey, it's a learning curve. I told you from the very beginning. All right. Hello and welcome to the Ham Radio Guy. Winter Field Day 2026 we're talking about. That is just, I think it's only 3 weeks away from this weekend. So January 24th and 25th, we are very near to this date, and we are still getting things ready. I'll be honest. Still answering emails. Still people asking a lot of questions. A lot of people are visiting our store within our website, which we appreciate that direct support, which goes back directly to us, and a whole lot more. So I'm going to show you some of that on the website. But before we get there today, I want to talk about what Winter Field Day is and where it's come from. It's really been a true testament over the years of how Winter Field Day is growing. Again, the origins of this was shaped in mid 2006 by a ham radio operator called Charles N5 PVL. And he proposed to the group then, which was the Society for the Preservation of Amateur Radio, SPAR, that hams ought to practice just not in summer field day, but also winter. So they that group approved the proposal to do Winter Field Day, January 13th and 14th in 2007. And from there, the first Winter Field Day took place. So we are now, that means approaching 19 years for Winter Field Day. I mean, it's embarking on its 19th year, and that's incredible for me. I think that's very awesome. And next year in 2027, we'll be celebrating the 20th year of Winter Field Day. We have a lot more special things coming up for that. So, this has really been the spirit and community of amateur radio operators worldwide that have helped continue to support and grow and let this operation really blossom into what it is today. It's people are very eager. By the time we get done with Summer Field Day, they are ambitious and just ready to take on Winter Field Day already. We literally have, I swear it's not a week after Summer Field Day, people are asking about Winter Field Day already. And so I think it's really become a major fixture in the amateur radio community for an event that people look forward to. We have our naysayers and we have people that get upset with us for FT8 and other reasons and whatnot. But you know what? I think that happens with any event or any group across the board. And, last year alone, with the sizable growth that we've had in Winter Field Day, man, I got a throat this evening going on. We had over 357,000 contacts, which is just blew my mind away. And we had over 776 clubs participate and 26,000 unique call signs participated in Winter Field Day last year. So I think those numbers alone just are telling very much that this is no longer just a niche event and it's something small. And, it's just a small group that runs this and makes it work. But, we continue to strive to get better. We continue to improve. We take your feedback from, emails and your questions and your submissions. And we try and make positive changes every year. And some people like them, some people don't. And that's okay. It's not for everybody. Neither is satellite, tracking or operations or remote operations or, doing HF contesting. So we get it. It's fine. But really, Winter Field Day, getting down to the nuts and bolts behind it is, and I'll share this screen here. Let me go to put it here. So this is our webpage, winterfieldday.org or winterfieldday.com. They will redirect to the page directly. And what is Winter Field Day? And I'm going to probably just read this for what it is, because I always do. And I really believe it's worth getting it right. And I'm just trying to find the complete sentence here that I usually use for this. Winter Field Day aims to help participants improve their preparedness for disasters and enhance their operational abilities in adverse conditions. Amateur radios have the freedom to use the frequencies on the VHF, HF, or UHF bands while employing voice. And, we want you to be able to do that during the cold weather, the snow, the ice, wind. They all create those adverse conditions that can degrade antennas, strain battery systems, create challenging, conditions with generators. It can really put you through a test. It did for me last year a little bit. I had a trailer for the first time. I was going out Winter Field Day and using, and I had problems with propane freezing and, keeping it warm in the trailer and trying to rotate bottles and exchanging bottles with somebody else to see if they can make it work. And then, I had issues with the antenna connecting and getting out on WinLink. And I had everything up and running for the radio and the computer at home prior. Everything worked perfectly. I get out in the field and it just went to crap on me. I couldn't make the contacts and do the things I really wanted to do. So it does create challenges for you. We give you that alternative power and field expedient setup where you're not using, mains. Again, you're having to use batteries and solar and generators. You're doing an antenna deployment. You're maybe a quick setup or tear down. You may have to improvise with power or cables. And we think really that is all part of the training to make you a better operator. And if you guys have outdone POTA, and for those that do POTA on a regular basis, all know this, that you go out there and you go, crap, I forgot my mic. I forgot the battery. I forgot the cable that connects X to Y, whatever it might be. And so, we really want to continue to do an after action report and go, hey, what went well? What didn't go so well? If not, follow mine. I will show you what I do for Winter Field Day after action reports. Cam4ACK does it as well, does a great job with them. And so it really helps you be prepared for better for next year. So I'll go back and review mine. And I did an after action report podcast on this last year. So certainly feel free to go out and look at that. So again, it gives you the adaptability and shifting conditions and really builds your skills value during emergency communications, which is what we want you to be able to do. And again, we don't know when, where, how those are going to come out, but you might very well find yourself in that type of situation down the road for something. So it's really getting your mind in the right set for readiness and being prepared when those crucial disasters happen. Those people in North Carolina a couple of years ago didn't expect to put themselves in that condition, but they weren't ready for it either. So that is, things to think about. And that's just where we're at. We don't find that Winter Field Day is in the middle of chasing high scores or contacts, but it's really just about learning exercise, being out in the field. Someone asked at the end of the day is like, well, why are you field exercise? It's like, well, because we are doing things out in the field. Whether you're in a community center, you're in a church, a police station, an emergency operations center, a mobile tent, a mobile trailer, an RV, a garage, that's exterior garage from your house or something that's separate. Whatever you might be in, that you're having to deal with those conditions and that setup of some sort. You may be in a simple building of like that during a disaster of some sort, So that's very, very possible. So that is what Winter Field Day is and why we really think this matters. Going on down, I'm going to refresh my page here so you guys are going to see this because it shows up location map, zero registered. And I don't know if it's just a cookie on the page or something else that goes goofy. I don't know why that is, but I feel like this is a little small this year. Maybe I can make it bigger. Well, it's going to make my whole page bigger. So you can see on this as I zoom in. Good. That'll work. I'll make it easier for you guys too. Again, for those who are watching YouTube. So let's go down into, I'm going to call myself out here in Wisconsin this year. So there is looks like this guy's going to be indoors, Mike Egan, AA0RW. And the blue and purple represent private or public events. So let's go down to this Iowa. This is an Iowa group. Purple is private and blue is public, just FYI too. But this guy's going to be mobile. Visitors are welcome to stop in. And he's iowawarn.org. So I don't see his exact location here, but I think we can zoom in more and find it here. Because it should be a pretty accurate depiction of where they're going to be at. So I would assume he's going to be at the South Park Estates and Campground probably, or the Hanson Family Hospital. So if we click on that Facebook page, I'm not on Facebook, so I don't know if that will pop up or not. And, it says page isn't available. So so that's not going to work. But anyway, that might not be a good one to use. Let's see if we can find somebody else out there. Get rid of him. And let's go down here to Madison. There's a couple down this way. So visitors are welcome to see information for more details. So if you're part of the Four Lakes Amateur Radio Club here in Wisconsin, they will have more details on that, probably on their webpage, I'm guessing. But it looks like they're going to be, I don't know, it looks like maybe a city area of some sort, but I'm not really sure where that's going to be. So we try and make this as accurate as possible with the longitude and latitude of the place you're going to be at. And obviously that's not a very good example, but hold on. All right. So I had a sneeze. So that's the webpage. You should be able to find good locations on there, and I'm not sure why that's not showing a little bit better on some of those maps. So, but we do appreciate you people putting information on there. And, as you zoom in or zoom out from where you're at, let's go down here like Kansas City. Let's find one more. That doesn't have any information on it either. Here's Paducah. There's a bunch of them down there. Not sure exactly where in the state park, but all set up, but I'll be near the cabins. David Patton, visitors are welcome there. Here's another one. Here's a whole group that talks a whole about the whole darn thing they're doing. the St. Bethlehem Civilian Park they'll be at. So you can just search around, figure out what might be closest to you, see what you can find. And if you haven't got your information on here yet, I want to say last year we had like 1,300 users give their location. So if you haven't gotten your stuff on the map yet, please reach out and do so. And you can see that we have people in Europe. We got people down here in Africa, probably Hawaii out there, I'm guessing. And I know we have people in Ireland this year, United Kingdom, Czech Republic, Croatia. So Winter Field Day is open worldwide to everybody, and we do not exclude anybody from that. So it is an open wide contest. Of course, you can find us on social media. You can email us, the help desk at winterfieldday.com, Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and apparently we need to put the Mastodon symbol on here as well. We are on Mastodon as well. So if you are interested in that, go find us out there. I don't know exactly what our public domain name on that is, but it's going to be obviously Winter Field Day something, and you can go from there. Again, you can help support the Winter Field Day by visiting our store, and I'll show you that in just a moment here. Corporate partners, club sponsors. We do have two more that need to be on here. Reliance Antennas is another sponsor, and I was trying to do that earlier today, but our web pages something got broken, so I'm trying to get that link fixed through our webmaster, and hopefully we'll get that squared away. Shop. We're gonna go visit our shop real quick. And Winter Field Day, we have sweatshirts and banners and beanies, a Winter Field Day flag, our glass, our T-shirt, which I really like this year. Yes, a little part of the design on that. We've got our die cut Winter Field Day sticker with the bear. You can do coffee mugs. We got a long sleeve T-shirt as well. And folks, we're only making $3 or $4 on these. I mean, there's not a lot of money to be made around here, but it is a little bit of support for us. So we're not going to try and gouge you on these prices, trying to make it very fair and reasonable. And I know a sweatshirt's $42, but I know people have paid $40 for a sweatshirt other places, I'm sure. So it's not out of unreasonable, but I get it too. So, but appreciate you supporting us on those. And we've had a lot of orders come through and really appreciate that. That's really cool. So I've been very pleased with those. And thank you for supporting Winter Field Day directly. Results. Apparently we did get this fixed for 4 and 25. And you can select your home door, indoor class and find results here from 24. You can search and find, indoor. Let's go search for 25. And that changed just now. Yeah, it did. So, I'll go outdoor here. So, there I am. Indoor 1, New Hampshire, 24 QSOs, 225 points. Guys, that was completely by coincidence that just happened. I was somewhere near the top there. But class of 1 and made 24 QSOs last year. Most of it was mobile. So, or I guess it was outdoors, but I'd done some outdoors and I had to do some end up being mobile, and that happens. And so if you're outdoors for some reason, then you end up going into your truck and going our car and you're going mobile with it. You're still portable. You're kind of still outdoors. As long as you didn't change, you're not changing your category at that point. So, cause that's going to screw the log for everybody else that had contact with you prior, unless you're doing a completely different call sign, a completely different setup. But, if you have to go, indoors from being outside because of weather or some other condition, just stick with outdoors the whole time. It is what it is. But, we try and, have a reasonable expectation that, hey, we had, 500 people operate outdoors. We had 726 people operate indoors. We had, 350 people mobile, whatever it might be. I'm making up those numbers randomly completely, but you just kind of get the idea that, that's, we just want to know how many people are participating in each category roughly. So that's why we ask you to do a category of some sort. And we hope that if you're doing home, you're going to be home. If you're indoors, you're going to be indoors. If you're going to be mobile, you're going to be mobile. But, if you have to change during the middle of it because of something, so be it. We get it. It happens. It's it's on you have to sleep at night, and you're the one that has to live with that. And, we expect you to be honest about it. And if something changed, we get it. It's fine. So we'll go from there. But you can see results, and we'll have 2026 out when that comes around. And again, we'll see how soon that comes around. But I do want to show you something for 25. It's kind of cool. I don't think we have it up on 24s, but if I go look at this, I click on this, you can see, your different things here. Operate 100% on alternative power, operate away from home. I sent and received at least one WinLink email. I copied the Winter Field Day special bulletin, and I used multiple modes. And here it looks like I would have had, I'll shows all those contacts showed up. One is CW. That's probably a logging issue that I made a mistake on, because otherwise I had 24 contacts. Those should have all been phone, but it should have been up here on 20 meters, and I'm not seeing anything show up on the QSOs by band. So not sure why that's not there. I'll get back to my WebMic guy and figure that out. But at least they're showing up as phone now, not as digital, because they were. So final multiplier, I had 9 points, so I made a score of 225 points. So again, I'm so busy with so many other things around Winter Field Day. I don't try to manage a few things and make sure everything goes off without a hitch for you guys, that I don't necessarily get to play a lot myself, but hoping I will this year. I don't know what category I'm going to be at yet, but it may have to be indoors at this point, but we'll see. I'm not sure what that's going to look like. So my trailer right now has a bunch of stuff in it for storage. So I don't know if I'll get that cleaned out and ready to go in time. And also providing heat source to be reliable and steady as it was last year. It's all propane. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be able to plug it in to commercial power and keep heat inside the trailer. I don't know. I have to look at the rules myself on that one. Anyway, just a food for thought. Let's go talk about rules. So that's a good segue to go into this. So we are in the rules page here, and we had a couple objectives have been added. We'll go through those in a minute. Alternative power objective has changed, so pay attention to the laptop and HVAC requirements for those. I think that's for the indoor one. An additional 12 band objective was added, and some clarification was added to the appendix. So those are your major notable changes. But overall, we're still at 30 hours. Operational period will be from like 11 a.m., I think it is, Eastern time till 4:59 Eastern time on Sunday. So we're still there. And Winter Field Day operations must ensure all stations operating under a single call sign are located in the same physical area. Nothing changed there. Same thing we've always done with 1,000 feet, except for the one group, Flag and Torch. They're doing a little different, but we kind of created that for an example for them. It's kind of the 250th and celebration, and being the Flag and Torch group, the way their group is kind of set up. So we allowed for a little bit of that. Our designation is a call sign, a category number, and a class identifier. So you'd be like, I am one mobile, W0MT, one mobile, Wisconsin. So that will be the quick identifier, the quick exchange, very similar to what it is in Summer Field Day. Let's see, anything else. Class operations, again, home, indoors, outdoors, and mobile. And anything else I'm just trying to think of let's see, all amateur bands may be used except 12, 17, 30, and 60 to qualify as a band worked. And at least one valid two-way QSO must take place on the said band during the event. We do all modes, digital, phone, CW, we'll have PSK, I believe, for our broadcast message this year. Olivia, Packet, SSTV, maybe JS8 call. I think we're going to do something around a little JS8 call this year. A little bit of it on. If you check our Discord channel, you can find out more about that JS8 kind of inside project of a competition going on there, but it's nothing official per se. If the end result is a text or a picture, it's digital. And if you're operating let's see, I was going to try and find that one about the, I should know where this is at too. I don't see it, but I was talking about the alternative power. But your laptop and is HVAC, if it's in like a garage or something that made that heat, it's okay. You can do that. I know it's in here. It may be actually more in the rules itself. So, because I do not see anything where it says, oh, here we go. Lights and HVAC are exceptions and may be connected to the power grid or any source available. So if you're operating 100% on alternative power, read that section more about the alternative power source, and using lights and HVAC are exceptions that may be connected to power grid. So that's what I'm saying. I may do HVAC, and I may, run my lights or something from the trailer and run a little HVAC heat from there. If I have an electric heater inside the trailer, if I make it work, I may do that just for that purpose. So anyway, you can actually go down here and click on the red where it says download and complete the Winter Field Day rules by clicking here. And that will open up another page, and we're going to go to those. This is kind of a nice little packet, little letter here. We get our notable changes. We give you kind of example of what the of a QSO would look like, and the Cabrillo formatting example, and what we do or don't use. All the multipliers, you have a total of 33 multipliers this year. Let's see, making a satellite contact using FM or single sideband or CW. We clarified that. Copy the Winter Field Day special bulletin, which we will do again this year. Operating at least 12 different bands. I believe that's one of the new ones. And operate the event QRP. I'd like to be able to do that with my 705 maybe. We'll see. I may consider that maybe an option. And then here's a bunch of answers and questions and answers, how to really, do a few things if you need to. So some great other additional information. And then farther down, you'll see a Winter Field Day flyer. You can write your personal information in there and put this up as a flyer somewhere, and, really share more about Winter Field Day. So that's kind of a cool thing as well for rules, if you like that. Resources, something I'd really like to share more about: logging programs, N3FJP, World Radio League. We will be working with them. Join me on Monday, the 5th. Actually be released by the time you hear this. Maybe you may be hearing this on Monday at 2 p.m. I'll be joining Andy with World Radio League, talking about Winter Field Day and World Radio League for logging, and we're super excited about that. Ham2K Portable Logger has a great logger. Hammers N1MM Logger Plus and DX Log. Those are all, I'll call them ADIF compatible logging programs that export the proper fields when exporting. If you submit an ADF or Cabrillo file, we do take either one. And so they have that all set up now. So you can find your real-time information, kind of a leaderboard. We'll be running a contest on World Radio League. And it's not the official contest, but there's an internal World Radio League contest goes on their leaderboard. And you can see how many people are currently using it, and who's at the top of the list for contacts. So, and you might be able to find some other stations, other information there as well. So anyway, I would definitely check them out. It's a free software. You can use code HAMRadioGuy and save yourself 10% if you want to join their membership. And so that code is certainly good for World Radio League or Ham Radio Prep. So those are all great logging programs. We do like them. Operating aids, these are your rack sections, and we've updated those to reflect the current changes that happened in Canada this year. Some downloads, these are 2026 flyer editable flyers. Let's see if there's a PDF version, because someone told me this wasn't updated, but it is. So it's the same flyer. You can just get it by itself without having to download the whole packet. Frequently asked questions. A lot of people ask those questions like, why isn't FT8 allowed? Some Winter Field Day in the news. If you have a news story this year, I'd like to have some new ones out there. If the news media comes out and visits you and does a big story, please let us know. Share that with us. We'd like to be able to add that to our webpage. A newsletter. I think maybe that is actually working now for getting the sign up. So we usually do a newsletter out as well. So we'll see if we can get that out yet. That's due pretty quick. And then if you're looking for swag, it should be Ham Stuff Online. I see we obviously need to update that as well. Or JSE. JSE has embroidery stuff, which is really nice. So we've got our board member shirts from there. So a little bit of history is kind of the original members of Winter Field Day, and then who the current members are. And we've got, looks like that one's missing. So we'll have to re-pull that one. What happened to Mike? He was in there. But these are our current board members. And we're, happy to keep this up and running and going. So, or you can just even hit contact us and find all the different ways you can do that. So that's a little bit of our webpage and sharing about that. If you want to make a donation, you can make a donation directly through PayPal. You can make the choice whether you want to pay the credit card difference or not. And makes no difference to us. We appreciate the support either way. Man, I must have got a little dry throat tonight all of a sudden. I thought I was going to be doing just fine. So that's a little bit about the Winter Field Day page. I want to go ahead and move on to some of the future of Winter Field Day and where things are at. Again, like I said earlier, with 19 years behind us and ever-growing participation, Winter Field Day continues to be, again, a very firm, established cornerstone of amateur radio and its commitment to preparedness like we are every year. This participation with the numbers that we had last year that I shared with you earlier, for the thousands of operators and clubs and contacts that were made, I think this is only to continue to grow and get bigger and better as more people continue to join amateur radio and new people find out about amateur radio and Winter Field Day. There's people in in amateur radio that have not heard of Winter Field Day ever. And it blows my mind sometimes, but that's why we continue to educate, push into social media everywhere we can, and continue to educate as well. And that's really a lot of our objectives. Again, Winter Field Day continues to evolve based on feedback and information and skills that we want to continue to try and push out and push people to their limits as we do new objectives, maybe new multiple antennas, setups, satellite contacts, commercial power, digital modes. All those, we added broadcast messages last year. SSTV is going to be added next year. I'll promise you. I'll tell you that. I'll give you a heads up now. We're going to add SSTV into this. But it also takes a lot of resources and people to be able to make this happen. So someone has to be able to send those SSTV messages and things like that. So, we continue to give you the flexibility of the different station categories. And again, we are a welcoming environment for everybody across the board, from every corner of the earth. And we really enjoy that. In fact, we're working with a group out of Ireland this year as part of our growth and preparedness to have Europe get our broadcast message. And they're going to be transmitting it over in Europe. So maybe one of your goals is to be able to see if you can hear that message over in Europe. It will be about the same time ours is being transmitted here in the U.S., but it may have a little bit of an offset. I think I saw somewhere that may be happening, just so people can try and copy that one as well. But nonetheless, whether that's something new you can try and copy. And we do not create our message to be super, super long like the one during the summer. That's really hard to copy. You almost have to record it to be able to get it all, because I don't think anybody can do CW or type fast enough or write fast enough to keep up with that message. So a lot of people do record it and, play it back later so they can, get the exact verbiage of what it is. So as we continue to gear up for 2026 here on Winter Field Day, again, it's not about making contacts or racking up the numbers. It's about being ready for when those disasters strike and potentially being called upon to provide that vital data link of information, whatever it might be, for however you need to copy or send that message. So we really appreciate you being part of Winter Field Day. We hope that you will go out and try and participate in some form or fashion. Find a club, go check it out somewhere. And again, we invite you to our official website to stop by our shop page and pick up some official Winter Field Day gear. I should have probably been wearing that shirt now, but I think it's over in the clean clothes pile in the drawer somewhere. But I didn't have it on today. But it's a really cool shirt, and I know I was on a live stream today, and I showed the pink one, which was my wife's. I held it up and showed it, and so it's a really cool background. And you probably saw that. Let me see if you're still over on YouTube. I'll show that photo up. I'm going to bring that photo up a little bigger so people can see it. If we can zoom in on that, if I can zoom in on that and catch it. So that is kind of the image you'll see if you're on Winter Field Day on YouTube. You'll kind of see the image. The bear is sitting at a picnic table holding a radio, and there's a little antenna tower created in the back, and some green trees in the background with some snow and stuff around it. So he's got his skis off and he's activating. So kind of a cool logo that we're able to get the backpack and skis off of him and make him sit down at a picnic table, and pretty cool stuff. So we really liked that photo a lot, and that was really cool. Trying to think what else we got here. So I think that's it we've got for Winter Field Day. So again, I just want everybody to know that we are 100% donation funded, and your support helps cover our ongoing operating costs and ensures that we continue to improve and expand the event each year. We have to pay for our hosting. We got to pay for our email service that we do for mailing out things. We have our swag gear that we do pass out, and if you do make a significant donation, and whatever that might be, usually $10 or more, we'll try and get a sticker or something out to you as well, or a couple stickers actually. So we do have patches. If you want patches, you have to contact me directly. Just at Winter Help Desk or Winter Field Day, WFDA at winterfieldday.com or helpdesk at winterfieldday.com, and say, hey, looking for a couple patches. We do appreciate the donation on that. If you could, like to think minimum 20 to help cover some of the shipping and patch cover costs too, but be glad to send you some patches as well. So kind of give us an idea of how many you want, and we'll see how many we have to be able to hand out. So I don't really know what our current quantity stack is, but I know we do have a few, and we're happy to distribute those as well. So again, your generosity helps keep the mission and alive and sustain us throughout the year. And we really appreciate the Winter Field Day community. So I hope that you got something out of this podcast today. That is what I wanted to really go through and talk about and really share for Winter Field Day. We talked about the website and was able to go through the different things. One of the things I didn't mention earlier, man, I am so sorry. My throat has really gotten dry today. That when you do your logging software, whatever you're using, and there's more than what we listed on our website, but those are our main loggers that we know are tried and true. And again, we'll export the correct files for your Winter Field Day log. And we've worked with every one of them to make sure that's the case. Is that if you are running N3FJP, very common logging software, some people may be running version 2.8, and he's probably got version 6 point something out. So let me pull it up and show you real quick. So let me go to N3FJP. Come on. I'll show the screen back up in a second here. N3FJP. So I had in front of that. Okay, amateur radio logging software. So let's go back to that. So we're going to go to contest logs. Other contest, I believe it is Winter Field Day. So he is using contest log 2.9.0. So if you're running version 2.1.0 or 2.6.0, please go out and update your log. It's when you log into that software, it automatically should ask you for an update. Please perform that prior to winter field day and make sure that's working. Because again, I know that this year's current export for Cabrillo or an ADI file is valid on this version of 2.9. And so if you come back to us and say, well, I've got, a problem with my log and it's not exporting it correctly, I'm going to tell you what logging version are you using? And you're going to tell me, well, it's not 2.9. And I'm going to say, that's the problem. So anyway, I can't help you because I have warned you in advance that this is the case of what's going on. So it is very important that you go out and make sure you update this. We have like 40 different versions, and I may be a little exaggerated there. So I'll say 15 different versions of Winter Field Day for N3FJP alone. Because when you submit your log, we know that you're log 2.1, 2.1.2, 2.1.3, and everything up to 2.9. So please go out and update your software. I can't say enough about that to have people really update their logging software. I know Hammers and like Ham2K, Polo, World Radio League, they're all up to date and they are good to go. But for this software like N3FJP, which is computer based, those are, and I know Hammers and H2K as well, but I know they've got, their updates out there. And people do update to those pretty regularly. N3FJP seems to be one that people just don't for whatever reason. So I hope that you will consider that, and please go out and update your software on that. All right, enough preaching on that one. I don't really have any news. I will say this, that, moving into another section here, talking about a few other things, that Hamcation is coming up. And I want to say Hamcation is going to be, I didn't really prepare for this one. Looks like I know it's over Valentine's weekend. So February 13th through the 15th. So I was going to take a trip to Orlando with my wife, but starting a new job, hopefully, we'll know hopefully more tomorrow, this week on that, if that's going to be the case. But if not, maybe I'll be able to get down there. But for the most part, I probably won't be making Hamcation, unfortunately, and that's unfortunate. I would love to be there. I really planned on being there, but it is what it is. A new job is more important to me at the moment, and so it's been something that's been kind of needed. But Hamcation is always a great vacation destination, and it's always a good time to go, and enjoyed a lot of different years down there at that one, and I think it's gonna be another great year. But unfortunately, I probably will not be able to make that one unless there's just something odd that comes up out of the blue that allows me to go. But at this point, probably not going to be able to do it. A little bit with funding, being unemployed for quite a while didn't help or doesn't help. And then again, maybe potentially starting a new job, so vacation time and all that just is not going to be available as well. So with that, Happy New Year, all. I hope that you will stay tuned to this podcast for this year. I do have a lot of new things planned. You kind of saw the new intro coming into this. And this was, a good video podcast recording as well. A little bit of a blooper there in the beginning with the audio ending on one file and starting on another one. But, it's all good. So it's all fun. And it's a learning curve. And we have a good time along the way. So this has been about 45 minutes into it. And I like to keep them a little on the shorter side. So with that, no further ado, I am going to send this one out, and I appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the flip side for another episode. And hopefully you'll go out and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I've got a lot of new subscribers out there, a lot of new video content I've coming up with, and just released 2 new videos this week, one today and one's coming out later this week. So please go watch those and check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/the Ham Radio Guy. Got some new subscribers over there as well. So I appreciate you guys coming in and joining over there for both free and paid. And hope that you will take advantage of that and get access to the early content with that. So with no further ado, till next time, 73.